Mesothelioma. Call the Rely On Group at 800-213-4186.
Welcome back. The Trump bashing continues. On January 14th, an 8-hour event will be held at Georgetown University where two departments, academic departments, they're going to co-sponsor a teach-in to discuss what they call the, quote, racism, bigotry, and oppression of President-elect Donald Trump, even though he's yet to sit down in the Oval Office. The event on Facebook is even called, quote, resisting, organizing, and building in the age of Trump. The event will feature lectures from professors and even a Black Lives Matter organizer. Speaker and your kids are your own fault author. He is Larry Winget. He's with me now. What are your thoughts on this?
You know, I'm all for it. Let them do it. No problem at all. They can talk about whatever they want to talk about. In fact, they should be talking about this as long as they understand the flip side. You know, no matter how flat you smash a pancake, it still has two sides, and the other side should also be represented. I have no issue with them talking about racism. They can talk about Trump as long as they also bring in the other side, because when you only teach kids one side, they start to believe there is only that one side, and that's only going to be causing more divisiveness in our society, and we don't need more of that. Yeah, we need to hear both sides.
You don't expect them to bring in the other side, do you?
Oh, no. I'm just saying that's what they ought to do. I think it's only right that our kids do get exposed to both sides. So if they're going to teach this, and they are, we can't stop. This is the way liberal colleges think, and this is the way professors think. And it's a shame that money is being spent to do this. But I think that if it's going to be allowed, and this is where parents of these kids have to get involved, they have to push for equal representation.
Yeah, you know, the irony here is that Eric Trump graduated from Georgetown University, right?
Exactly. Again, this goes back to a parenting issue. Most problems do. And if parents said, you know, you're not going to get our kids money unless both sides are represented, I think we'd see things change.
You know, you've talked a lot about how universities, you just said, are supposed to educate. But, you know, they've become more like a high-priced daycare center with tuition going toward things like safe spaces, rooms of Play-Doh, and coloring books. Are they preparing students for the real world?
You know, the real world's pretty tough out there, and if we allowed our kids to only experience a bit of the real world, to see that there's no safe zone in the real world, and that it's ugly and tough, and you're going to lose more than you're going to win, and there aren't trophies for everybody out there, and there is no Play-Doh where I go to work or where you go to work, I think things would change. Again, that becomes a parenting issue, though, and like my book title says, your kids are your own fault. If we, as parents, allow that to happen, that's what we're going to see more of.
You know, Larry, I like your thoughts on this next subject. The PC police looks like they're running wild in Kentucky. We have Frederick Douglass High School. They're being forced to abandon their mascot. It's an image of a stallion. An online petition called that image of a stallion sexist and inappropriate for the female teams. The school is apparently releasing a new logo design and even new uniforms. They say they want to keep the horse theme, but they're going to let the students pick a new name. You know, Larry, you say we're becoming kind of a neutered society. What do you think?
I think they're going to have to change the name from the Stallions to the Geldings, because we've allowed them to be castrated by these kind of people who every single day wake up and try to figure out something that will offend them. You know, if your intention is to be offended by something, you're going to find something. I think they're probably going to go after teddy bears next, especially when they realize that's a male name named after a president who was a Republican and actually went hunting and killed bears.
Yeah, we'll wait on that one. But you know what? I love your thoughts on this. We know that colleges have mascots that, like you point out, that could be taken the wrong way. Look at Duke University, Blue Devils, or Michigan State Spartans, or Oklahoma State's Cowboys, San Diego State Aztecs. It goes on and on. Notre Dame Fighting Irish. What do you think? Are these colleges going to stick with their mascots? What do you think?
Well, I hope they stick with their mascots. I think we need some allegiance to tradition. And again, it goes back to, if you choose to be offended, you will be offended. You said the high school is being forced. No, they're not being forced to do this. They're allowing others to influence them to the point that they're willing to give up. And I think that's where, again, students as well as their parents have to stand up and figure out we're not going to take this kind of silliness crap that's going on right now in our society. We've got to start to stand up for what we believe and actually grow a pair and believe in our traditions and stand up against this kind of silliness.
Larry, why don't you show up at Georgetown and sit in the audience?
I would love to do that, but I'm afraid they wouldn't let me in. I'm too controversial for them.
Right. Larry Winget, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Hey, thank you.
Okay, we'll have more after this. Don't go away.